New at 6 tonight, a Tallahassee man indicted for allegedly threatening President Trump, former President Biden, and other government leaders. Court documents say that Diego Villavicencio allegedly posted messages on X that often ended with "death to America" and "blowing up America," and made violent threats against Congress members and CEOs. Villavicencio's defense attorney, Alex Morris, said they are currently reviewing the evidence in this case. In a statement shared with WCTV, he said, quote, "These cases, by their nature, involve a very fine line of what is and what is not protected speech under the First Amendment." You can read the full statement and learn more about the allegations against Villavicencio on our website. His trial is now set for May 5th.